Ever since the release of the new Tool Track Studio, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe custom tracks have become absolutely insane, and there is no better way to play them than in SitBar's CT Pack, the first and largest track distribution for the game. Throughout these episodes and live streams, I have been playing through the entire pack, and we are finally at episode 6, the finale. Today, I played through the Crossing and Bell Cups, and let me tell you, these courses were so much fun to play. But you might have already noticed, I'm going with a little bit of a different format for this video. There's going to be a lot more voiceover in this episode for two reasons. One is that I wanted the production quality to be higher for the finale, and the other is that my microphone may or may not have glitched during the live stream, making it so you could almost never hear me over the game audio. Regardless, I just can't wait to show off these tracks, so let's roll the intro and start the races. Our first track was GCN Mushroom Bridge by Bacon Bird. And the first thing I noticed about this track was that it had an absolute banger remix from Mario and Sonic at the 2014 Olympic Games. It actually reminded me a lot of Josh Marsh's rendition of the song, which I featured at the beginning of this video. Go check them out if you haven't already, because I've featured their music in almost all of these videos, and they are absolute bangers. But now let's move on to the track itself. The GameCube model was used, and it seems to have been scaled beautifully. A few of the textures look like they were enhanced as well, which is always a nice touch. The cars seem like they're harder to avoid than in the original, but I feel like that's a good decision given that there aren't any bomb cars in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There are some Mario Kart 8 base game assets, such as trees and NPCs, that are sprinkled along the course to add some life to it, and I really appreciate that attention to detail. Just like in the original, you're able to go on top of the arches of the bridge, and it's just as satisfying as ever. But the shortcut shortly after is actually really janky, and it's almost impossible to get to. But I explore that later in time trials, so we'll talk more about that later. Overall, I didn't really have any complaints about the course. Graphically, it looked pretty darn good, and it just felt really nice to drive. So then I moved on to the second course, which was Mud Graveway by Mishi. The music of the course was very eerie and added a lot of atmosphere to the course, but it hasn't been released publicly because it was also made by Mishi, so for now I'm just going to be using the Twisted Mansion theme. Graphically, the course seems like it might have originally been designed as a Mario Kart Wii custom track before being ported to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, though I couldn't find any Mario Kart Wii custom tracks by the same name, so I can't be sure. Even so, some Mario Kart 8 assets such as trees, thwomps, and glider ramps were added that made the course overall more enjoyable. The track had an interesting gimmick that both helped and hurt it: banked edges. And I don't just mean like on the right side of a left-hand turn. No, across the entire track on both sides, there are banked edges, which allow you to do crazy jumps over off-road sections if you head at them correctly. The problem is, though, on turns, it's really hard to see what's coming up next because the road blocks it off. This makes it really hard to drive if it's your first time playing, though I still hope they aren't removed in any future versions because they really add a lot to the gameplay with the jumps. They were seriously really satisfying. Instead of removing them entirely, it might have just been a good idea to add a separate texture to the banked edges, just so then they're more easily distinguishable from the road. In terms of the design of the track itself, it actually drove extremely well, with elements from other courses being added to spice up the gameplay, such as the haunted armor sets from Twisted Mansion. Overall, I really enjoyed the course. It had a few bugs, but those could be fixed in a future update to the course, and maybe even the graphics could be enhanced. Even without good graphics though, the course was really well designed. And going from a track that looks like it could have been in Mario Kart Wii, to one that actually was, we now have Mystic Tangle by ZPL. This course was phenomenal back in Mario Kart Wii, and it even got into CTGP. Now that it's been ported to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, though it does suffer a little bit graphically, it is still just as fun to play. First off, it seems like there might have been some enhancements to the model and the textures, because though it does definitely still hail from Mario Kart Wii, it looks a lot better than most custom tracks from that game, given its technical limitations. Not only does the cave section look absolutely beautiful, but it has a split path in it that you can hop from one path to the other, similar to how you can do an Ice Ice Outpost. Other than that, the overall design of the course is pretty solid, and with some various background assets added from the base Mario Kart 8 game, it feels right at home in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And the final course of the Crossing Cup is a fan favorite with Wii Maple Treeway by Crayonia. This course did feature custom music, and it was the rendition of Maple Treeway from the original course in Mario Kart Wii. But while the music may be from Mario Kart Wii, the model is actually from Mario Kart 7, as the 3DS model was used to better allow the use of a glider ramp. The model doesn't seem to have been enhanced at all, and the same low-definition textures from the 3DS are used. Overall, the course was scaled pretty well, and it felt pretty nice to drive. I like that the wigglers were replaced by Goombas in the section at the top, rather than just removing them altogether. It would have been nice to see some custom assets instead, but those are pretty hard to make, so I still appreciate the effort of putting the moving Goombas there. Overall, I enjoyed playing the track, but the use of the 3DS model and textures really brings it down a few notches, especially because the 3DS model is the most low poly out of all three that are available, being the original Mario Kart Wii model, then the 3DS model, which was used, and the Mario Kart Tour version, which actually looks pretty decent. It also would have been a plus if the textures were AI upscaled, as we've seen that in quite a few tracks, and it really does help them out graphically. But now that we've played all the courses in the Crossing Cup, let's explore them in time trials to see anything we missed, and then we're going to rank them from worst to best. So the very first thing I did when I got to Mushroom Bridge again was I attempted the shortcut. It took a few tries and I had to reset to get me my mushrooms back, but eventually with a mushroom I was able to clip through the gate and slowly make my way around to the shortcut. And to my surprise, there was actually a glider ramp in there. It was so much fun discovering this and just shooting straight out the pipe. Clearly, I wasn't meant to be over in this section of the track as it was so unfinished, but it looks like there will certainly be a glider shortcut here in a future version of this custom track. I couldn't actually find anything of note in Mud Graveway or Mystic Tangle, but in Maple Treeway I was able to try out the shortcut at the start of the course, and it works just as expected, plopping you right into the cannon. And now it's time for the ranking of the courses. Last place sadly had to go to Mud Graveway by Mishi. The course was designed really well and I loved the banked edges, but those also caused the problem of not being able to see where you're going on the track. If some variety and textures were added, then it would really help this track feel better from a gameplay perspective, and it would boost it a little bit graphically. And then our third place spot goes to Wii Maple Treeway by Crayonia. The track itself was fun to drive given that it's using the design made by Nintendo, but graphically it was not enhanced at all, and the fact that it used the most low poly of all the available models really brings it down in the visual department. The lighting was decent and you were able to tell where you needed to go, but really this track did the bare minimum of porting this course over. Then our second place spot goes to Mystic Tangle by ZPL. The design on this course was absolutely insane and I loved it. The split path really added some variety to the course, and for being a Mario Kart Wii custom track originally, it looked phenomenal. The model and the textures seem to have been at least slightly enhanced as well, even though they looked really good in the original Mario Kart Wii custom track. Overall, the course was just super solid, and I would play that again any day. But it didn't get first place because our first place spot goes to Mushroom Bridge by Baconburg. Graphically, this course looked amazing, with the lighting being done really well. It seems like the model and the textures were enhanced at least somewhat as well, which is a nice touch. Plus, the remix was an absolute banger for the music. Mushroom Bridge will and always will be, in my opinion, a great track, and I just love it in whatever Mario Kart game it's in. But now we're done ranking the Crossing Cup, so let's get into the Bell Cup and play the courses over there. But you know what's even more exciting than dodging all the cars on Mushroom Bridge? Subscribing to the channel! I mean, when you think about it, it's a win-win. You guys get notified whenever I upload a video for you, and it supports the channel for me. So why don't you go down there and hit that subscribe button? And if you're liking the video, you might as well hit that like button as well while you're there. Thanks to everyone who's already subscribed and supporting the channel, and thanks to everyone who's subscribing now. Now with that out of the way, let's get on to the Bell Cup. Our first course here was Wii Daisy Circuit by Cassini Luigi. Right off the bat, it was extremely apparent that the Mario Kart Wii model was used and completely unchanged, though it looks like some of the textures were upscaled, which is nice. The track also did feature custom music, being the original rendition of Daisy Circuit's theme from Mario Kart Wii. One of the first things I noticed about the course after the model was that the lighting didn't really seem quite right, and that was even more apparent when we got to the statues in the center of the course. Now this may have been a glitch with the textures, but it looked to me like it was a problem with the lighting. The clothing on Luigi and Baby Luigi, instead of looking green like they should, looks completely black. The color tone of the lighting was that far off. You can't really tell in the rest of the course, but it is a big problem here. And though some of the textures look like they've been upscaled, like I said, others look arguably worse than they did back in Mario Kart Wii, as if something happened to them in the process of porting them over. Now I realize I'm being very harsh on this course, but that's only because it still has so many pluses to it, being Daisy Circuit. Daisy Circuit has always had a very nice layout to drive, and it's always just very fun looking at the scenery, even if it doesn't look the best graphically in this version. The change of the shortcut at the start to be a glider ramp is a great choice, and it really fits Mario Kart 8. There were some base game assets that were added around the background to give some life to the course, and they fit in perfectly, with the NPCs and the cones being almost unnoticeable because they fit so well into the track. And the phenomenal design of the original Daisy Circuit is very prominent here because the course is scaled perfectly to Mario Kart 8. Even with its graphical issues, the course is still pretty nice to drive with its fun layout. Next up, we had Wario Circuit by Mr. E99. And this course was as detailed and graphically impressive as a base game Mario Kart 8 track. Even though the layout isn't really that crazy, it's still really fun to drive, and believe it or not, this is actually a complete from the ground up remake of a Mario Kart Wii custom track. In terms of gameplay, it feels a bit like a GBA course, which is not a bad thing at all. And you'd think that the flat layout would make it less satisfying to drive, but really, it's just as fun as ever because the whole time you're in awe at the graphical wonders that are all around you. To spice up the gameplay, there are some enemies on the track as well, such as piranha plants and Goombas, and the items are placed fairly well as well. The turns are tight, but not too tight, and overall, I just love the way this course plays. I still can't get over the graphics though. I'm not going to spoil much for what we find in time trials, but there is so much detail in this course. Heck, even the skybox is from Mount Wario, a little bit of a nod to another incredibly well done Wario themed track. And the banner, instead of saying Mario Kart, says Wario Kart. This course is just bursting at the seams with charm. But now that I'm done ranting about Wario Circuit, let's move on to our next course, which is Birdos Island by Cool Doonin. This is an interesting concept because Birdo has never actually gotten her own course in Mario Kart, even though she's appeared in multiple games. But sadly, it seems like Birdo's first outing into a Mario Kart track isn't exactly an amazing one. Graphically, the course looks like it hails from maybe Mario Kart Double Dash or Wii, but this is completely custom made for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The railings around the course are just 2D objects without any depth to them, and the enemies on the course, specifically the piranha plants partway around the first turn, just are placed too far together and they're very hard to avoid. But that's enough jabs at the course graphically, because believe it or not, the background actually doesn't look half bad. There is a custom asset of a egg, which I assume is supposed to be Birdos in the background, which looks nice, as well as some base game assets such as the blocks from Donut Plains 3 and some palm trees from Dry Dry Desert making an appearance. And there's even some animation on the starting banner, which is some nice attention to detail. That's actually pretty difficult to do, to add custom animations to the game. And while the enemies do take down the enjoyment of the course a little bit, it still is a pretty nice layout to drive. But then, moving on to our final course, we have a classic, the course that started it all. We have SNES Mario Circuit 1 by Turbo Pinguine. I probably pronounced that completely wrong, but anyway, the course did have a banger remix by Fortune Street of the original SNES Mario Circuit theme. And I honestly can't tell if it's using the tour model or if it's completely custom modeled. Either way, it looks pretty darn good in Mario Kart 8's engine. All the background assets are almost exclusively from SNES Donut Plains 3, which makes sense because it's another SNES course, and they fit here perfectly. Towards the middle of the course, there was also a glider ramp off to the side, which is a nice addition. And there are also some toads, which curiously appear to be on top of lifeguard stands around the course, but somehow they fit in perfectly here as well. There are even some oil spills and pipes laid out accordingly to how they appeared in the original Super Mario Kart. Overall, this course is just a pretty solid port. The textures are clean, it's scaled really well, and it's just fun to drive in general. It might not have done anything crazy like the SNES courses that are in the base Mario Kart 8 game, but still, it's pretty darn fun to drive. But that's all the courses in the Bell Cup, so now let's move on to time trials and explore them. First off, in Daisy Circuit, I couldn't really find a lot, but I did notice for the first time that you could see Daisy Cruiser in the background of the course. I'm not sure if this was in the original Mario Kart Wii version, but either way, it's a nice touch. Then we have Wario Circuit, and boy do we have a lot to talk about here. First off, the gate at the start that seems to be leading to a castle that's owned by Wario actually has a path leading up to it with a Mario Kart TV van. This seems like a detail you'd find in an actual Mario Kart 8 track, and I love it. I also found a decently difficult glider shortcut that really pays off at the end. It could be used to cut off some people if you're just behind first place. Then I decided to take a look at the Wario statue that's in the center of the course, and this thing is just as detailed as the statues that are in the base game courses. Wario's just holding a giant bag of money and he's surrounded by coins. It just fits perfectly with the course, and it just fits Wario's character so well as well. I then looked behind one of the other gates, and there are actually signs and 2 paths leading to Mount Wario and Wario's gold mine. The attention to detail on this course is really just insane. But that's all for Wario Circuit, so then we moved on to Birdos Island, where I couldn't really find anything. Same as the case for SNES Mario Circuit, where really I spent my entire time just going around the course and just playing it, because it was really fun to drive. But now that we're done exploring the courses, it's finally time to rank them. And last place sadly had to go to Birdos Island by Cooldunin. In terms of the design of the course itself, it's not bad at all. It's just graphically it really drops the ball, and gameplay wise it's not perfect either, with the enemies being so hard to avoid really detracting from the enjoyment of the course. With a few improvements, graphically and gameplay wise, this course really could be a lot better, but in its current state, it just isn't really that fun to play. Then in third place, we have Wii Daisy Circuit by Cassini Luigi. Gameplay wise, the course had no problems whatsoever and it was scaled really well, but graphically it once again was not that great, with the lighting being so off that the colors of some objects looks completely different. Even with these graphical issues, however, the course is still pretty fun to play, especially because the design and scaling of the course are on point. Then in second place we have SNES Mario Circuit 1 by Turbo Pinguine. Regardless of the difficulty of the pronunciation of its creator's name, this track was really fun to drive, and graphically it was also pretty solid. While it didn't completely redo the track like the SNES courses in the base Mario Kart 8 game, it still played really well and the scaling was on point as well. Overall, it's just a really enjoyable time, and the small changes that were made to it really go a long way. Also, graphically, like I said, it looks really good, and the background assets from SNES Donut Plains 3 fit in really well here. But then that means our first place spot goes to Wario Circuit by Mr. E99. I've already praised this course enough, so you already know how I feel about this course, but it is amazing. It feels like something that could be in the base Mario Kart 8 game, and it overall has so much attention to detail. This course has charm all the way through the roof, and I just love it to bits. I'm not going to waste time continuing talking about it because I've already said pretty much all there is to say about this course, but it obviously is our first place spot winner for not only the Bell Cup, but I think this entire finale as well. But what do you all think? Do you think that my opinions on these courses are completely wrong and that I should get my head checked or something? Or do you completely agree with me? Let me know down in the comments below, and thanks for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you hit that like button, and while you're down there, you can subscribe as well. And if you want to catch more videos like this live while I'm recording them, then you can just follow me over at twitch.tv/GameBlock_. And with that all out of the way, that's pretty much it for the video. So thank you all for watching. I'm Jacob with the Game Block, signing off.